Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 20 of the Wulong Talks podcast. The whole crew is back in the house, man. So let's go around the table and introduce everybody. Of course, I'm Jason, your host. I'm always here, as you know. And up in the north, we've got the return of the Mag Geek, Big A. Big A, say what's up, man.
Good evening, good morning, or whatever time it is, wherever you are currently listening to this.
Hey, nice spot. And of course, we've got the Rustling Kid, Richard, with us as well. Rich Kid, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, man. Good to be back. Good to be back. Alvin, good to have you back as well, man.
Well, thank you. Good to have you back as well, because we've missed each other between podcasts.
Yeah, we've been like ships in the night passing each
Yeah.
other, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why I've come with that romantic analogy.
I don't know, man. I just felt like we should be hugging.
Yeah.
Should I smoke a cigarette? I don't know. Like,
So much love on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of love right now, listeners. Well, we hope you've all been good and you've all been well and you've enjoyed the various bank holidays that have been around if you're in the UK. And if you're not, well, boy, I'm sure you've got plenty of bank holidays to look forward to in your respective countries. But yeah, we're going to enjoy them. So cool. All right, man. Well, Alvin, as you know, Big A wasn't with us last week. The reason for that was because he was able to go to the Star Wars Celebration Orlando in America. For those that don't know, this has become an annual thing that the owners of Star Wars do. Every so often, they'll have a convention organized where fans from around the world get to go and visit and meet some of the stars and listen to panels and things like that. So as we're all big Star Wars geeks here, we're going to dive right into the nitty gritty of that. So Big A, man, tell everybody, like how the experience was overall for you for going there, because you've been before, obviously, to the one in London. So
Yeah.
how did it differ going to the United States? Did everybody look at you weird because of your Manc accent?
You know what? It was really. I think I spoke to more people this time around. More people, more randoms, which is actually it's just really nice to do. Just talk to other fans about just stuff, whether it be Star Wars Rebels or the movies or Rogue One, or the books or the comics that they're currently doing. It's just nice to chat to everyone. It was quite a similar experience actually to last year in London. With a few minor differences here or there, but overall, like I really enjoyed it. 4 days I thought would be kind of almost too much. I thought I'd be kind of exhausted by the last day and it would be a bit too much Star Wars and I wouldn't care. But actually 4 days, 2.
okay.
Cool. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, got a frog in my throat there for a second. Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily that different from the London one in terms of organization. Were the fans any different? Was there a different kind of atmosphere amongst them, or was it kind of a universal thing?
I'd say it was very similar. In terms of because I only did the show floor like one day. We had to we're planning on going on panels on the third day. For Rebels and Battlefront 2, but we decided the night before that we're not going to be able to see the show floor if we do that. So we decided to have an early night. We didn't have an early night, but we had more sleep, and then we didn't get there until the early afternoon. But yeah, there was a lot of cosplayers there. Some really amazing ones. I'd say the fans again generally kind of the same, because you've got people traveling all over the world for this thing, and the States isn't that different from the UK, so it all felt kind of familiar, but just with a different accent.
Okay.
Yeah, I could imagine. Sorry, Rich, did you want to come in?
No, I was just gonna say no, not at all. The only thing I was gonna say, how was it at the airport, man? All jokes aside, like you get in and get out fine. Yeah, man.
The airport was fine. It just took a while, to get in, because me and my mate, we kind of went up to the immigration dude together and then he was like, no, you go back, I'll sort you out in a second. So I was like, all right, I went back, and then once my mate got through, then I went, and then he just asked me a couple of questions. It was like, how do you know that gentleman? I just told him, and then just nodded his head, looked at the photo of my passport, looked at me, and I said, welcome to the United States of America, have a good time. And then that was it.
Okay,
it was done. But the only negative I'd say about Celebration this year was the queuing. The queuing was fucked up. I'm not even gonna Like it was fucking mental. People were saving places for people who weren't there, who would then arrive like half an hour later and like push in the queue and stuff like that. Like the first day was the worst because there was a long line for the 40th anniversary panel, which they kind of split into two. So it was the people who'd slept was in one queue, and then everyone else who'd been there who couldn't get into the building who'd stayed outside overnight, and everyone who got there like afterwards. So I got there like 4 a.m. We left at 3. And we got in fine. We were kind of near the front of the second queue. And then, yeah, I don't know what happened, but once everyone got seen in the first queue and they all got their wristbands, for some reason, they didn't kind of shut off the chute for everyone to walk down. So people were getting wristbands for other panels and then going around to that queue, going down that chute. To get wristbands. I saw this happen in front of me, but I was a bit sleep deprived, so I couldn't really tell what was going on. It was only the next day when someone mentioned it, when I thought we may not get a wristband for The Last Jedi, even though we'd slept overnight, that I realized what had happened. So we kind of got cheated out of being able to see the 40th panel. That's the only thing that kind of annoyed me. I wish they had their shit together with the queues, because the other occasions where I'd see like queues being like, they were like militantly like being like, people were shouting out, okay, single file, this and that, blah, 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 do not jump, blah, all that kind of stuff. Those volunteers who did that kind of stuff, excellent. They should have been on the big queues for the big stuff, because it would have worked out so much better and it would have been less bullshit going on. But I said I can't even necessarily say it's an American thing, but it is an American thing to jump a queue and for it to be fine. I don't know, but it didn't happen last year in London, and I didn't even have to, like, I only slept over one night. I didn't even really have to do that, to be honest. I could have got there early, but after that, every time I wanted a wristband for something, I got what I wanted, because I just got there like around 7 a.m. and it was fine. This time around, you couldn't do that. You had to be there from at least like 4 a.m.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cool, man. It's funny, man. These Americans really don't get the concept of queuing.
No. Some of them do, because I've had conversations with other people who experienced similar things that I did. But some of them do. Others, I'm not so fucking sure. Like, I'm not. But apart from that, even that didn't even really ruin my enjoyment. It annoyed me a little bit, and I thought, you're taking the piss. You're lucky I'm not in my own country, because I would fucking sort you out. But you know, it is what it is. But no, overall I had a great time. Got me a Millennium Falcon to build as well. Got a model kit, like fucking Star Wars belt as well. But yeah, just seeing it's a weird, it's just nice. I don't know what it is. It's a con, because what makes it unique is it's about one thing. Although there's many facets to that one thing, but you're all there for the same reason. I'm not saying that other cons aren't good. I mean, we've been to cons before. You know, there's these people into that thing, those people into that thing, gaming, comics, movies, all of that. Whereas this is just like one massive thing. You know what I mean? Whether it's the comics, the games, the films, it's all Star Wars. So it is great. I would probably go to the next one, and the next one's not going to be until 2019. But I don't know how that's going to work, because apparently the last of the new films is coming out in May. So the last of the new trilogy, which is like, I don't know if they're going to do it in April again. That's like just before the new film comes out. So I think they should push the new film back to December in 2019. You've got December, keep it that way. Don't try and fucking put it in the summer. There's no point. Like, let all the other movies come out then, and then you got fucking winter's free. Winter and New Year is your time to make bank, Disney and Lucasfilm. So what are you playing at?
Well, maybe they might have something lined up, and they haven't said anything yet.
What, something lined up? How?
I don't know, like just something up their sleeves, and they've just kept it under wraps. Because it does seem a bit odd that like they've changed, like they would change the date.
Well, they did the same thing with Episode 8 as well. They said, "Oh, we're releasing it in May," and then they went, "Oh no, we actually pushed it back to December." It's like just keep it December. There's no point. Like the rest of the year is kind of like all the other movies come out during the rest of the year and whatnot, and like some comic book movies are almost around May. Like I'm sure there's a Marvel movie coming out in May in 2019. There freaking must be, or at least close to. So they'll just move it. I mean, because Marvel's part of Disney, innit? So
yeah,
there's no point in stepping your own toes. Fucking move Star Wars to December. That's where people like it now anyway. You've claimed that month. You know what I mean? So keep it to that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think maybe they're so confident in the Star Wars franchise that they think, well, we can move it to the summer and it's not going to hurt us to do that, even though there's more competition, out in the summer months. So it's possible that maybe that's their thinking. But yeah, I mean, they seem to clean up pretty much over December, so it's not like they're necessarily losing money by using December as the month that they launch these big titles. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd decision, but yeah, I guess the House of the Mouse know what they're doing, don't they? So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But speaking of movies, obviously we had the release of the Last Jedi trailer come out, which is Star Wars Episode 8 for people who don't know. The trailer, as I said, came out while you were abroad, so we got to watch it here on the internet. But what was it like to watch it with like actual fans living, breathing Star Wars?
Everyone was really like that panel. I'm fucking hell. Like literally, we got in there and it was pretty much almost packed. There weren't that many seats left. Again, someone tried to hold seats for people that were on their way, and it was like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And then we managed to find like some seats closer to the front, and those people were apparently holding them. But my mate is quite militant in it, so it's like, well, if they're not here in 40 seconds, we're taking them. so like this guy, you don't understand. Like I've known this guy for years, and like he's like not changed, but I've not seen that side to him before. You know what I mean? Like he's like, look, I don't care if I look him across as a dick, but if you're taking the piss, nah, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, 40 seconds later, we were sat in those seats. Seeing it with fans was like, I did have my camera on while the trailer was playing, and I've listened, kind of watched it back and listened to myself. I don't think I'll ever let anyone see that footage or hear it, just because it is just a lot. You can hear me cheering, hollering, whooping, saying things like "fuck yeah" a lot. And but seeing the trailer with fans, it was electric. It was amazing. It was just really fucking cool. But there's some things like I didn't notice until literally about 2 days later when I was watching it again in YouTube, which was like on the new planet with like the red dust. It's a planet called Crate, I believe, and there's AT-ATs in the background, and I didn't notice that when I first saw it because we're kind of off to the side a little bit. But yeah, Ryan Johnson, he even came to like where we're sleeping in the convention center and actually did autographs for everyone and selfies and all this kind of business. But yeah, seeing the trailer was great. That for me was the most important bit, to see that trailer. And yeah, once I saw it, I was happy. I was happy with where the franchise is going, the stories that are being told, and it kind of give you a slight idea. And it kind of hinted some stuff and dangled some mysteries in your face, but it was a well put together trailer. I had all the shit I wanted to see, and it got me fucking pumped. So it did its job. For me, it did its job.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we got to watch it here in the UK via the internet, and definitely I got goosebumps. But Rich, you actually did a write up for the blog about the trailer as well. That's at www.wulongtalks.com if you want to read it. So just pop along there and you can check it out. But yeah, you had some thoughts, Rich, about the trailer. So did you want to just kind of take a second to talk about, kind of what you noticed from the trailer and how it made you feel, basically?
Oh geez, you don't put me on the spot, because my opinions have kind of changed since then. Like,
but that's okay. That's all right. You're allowed to change your opinions, man. It's cool. It's a free country.
No, I mean, the trailer is good. I think what everyone needs to remember, sorry, is that it's only a teaser trailer. So essentially, I mean, you guys know already, I wasn't a fan of episode 7. Whereas I was a fan of Rogue One. So I mean, like, the reason why I was pumped for this, and is the reason why I've been a fan of like the Star Wars mythos anyway, because even though it's changed, ever since the prequels were introduced, but I've always been like the biggest Luke Skywalker fan. So that's what got me pumped about this. It's like, but I mean, obviously seeing like the other characters, like Dameron and BB-8 and Rey, and Emo Kylo, and the Millennium Falcon. I mean, it was good. It generally did what it was meant to do, and it was good. It was good in that respect. I think the way how some people were going crazy about it, when I've taken a chance to take, to sit back and have a look at it, I'm like, well, it reminds me of that time when we were talking about the Death Standing trailer, Alvin.
Yeah.
And I was saying like, well, you haven't really seen anything. So I mean, like, obviously, I'm not saying that is a bad trailer. Nothing of the sort. It is a good trailer for what it is because we're Star Wars fans. But is it amazingly put together? Like, oh my god, like this is, like I look at that teaser trailer and then I look at like the Thor Ragnarok trailer, and I know which one makes me more happy. It gives me that warm fuzzy feeling inside. It's Thor Ragnarok. So
but I think that's
listen,
because maybe you had lower expectations for Thor.
No, because I liked Thor: The Dark World. Like I liked.
I had low expectations, man, because like the Thor movies. Don't get me wrong, I can watch them, but I don't fucking ever go, oh, I need to watch Thor again. The way I go, oh, I want to watch Civil War again. You know what I mean? So seeing that Thor Ragnarok trailer was like so different from the Thor movies that had come before. That I was like, yeah, I want this film in my life.
Yeah. And plus, and I think with the Thor Ragnarok trailer as well, like I said, Marvel have done like a really smart thing with the whole little viral videos, where it was Thor during the Civil War and things like that. So he's always been in the back of like, so they kind of built up how the character's meant to be portrayed anyway, but slightly deviating. But yeah, the Star Wars trailer, I liked it. I liked the fact that like Big Lebowski, Luke Skywalker, all talking cryptic, Rey. The other thing I loved Rey on the side of that mountain, even though it was a far away shot, but of her doing the training. See, this is the thing we haven't seen. There's a lot of stuff that we haven't seen in Star Wars yet, and people just put two and two together and don't really notice it until you see it. So, like, I remember when George Lucas, when he was talking about when we're going to see Yoda fight, and he was saying things like, you've seen old Jedi's fight, you've seen young Jedi's fight, you've seen Sith Lords fight, but you've never seen a Yoda fight. But one of the things that we've never seen training. That training scene that we saw in Empire Strikes Back, don't get me wrong. That scene,
but it was more just like running about, doing a front flip.
Yeah, no, but I mean, but that's what I'm just saying. But that's the closest we've got. Even though that's one of the things that set me on the path to learning martial arts, it's still very, very basic when you think about other things that you might have seen. Okay, go on then. Yeah, okay.
So Lucas made his nightly appearance, listeners.
Get the stool and do it. You can get the stool and do it. No, get the stool. Get the stool and do it. So I mean, it gets the job done, and it kind of whets the appetite of like what we should be expecting, to see in this. And also, I'm a fan of Rian Johnson, and I think I've got more. My expectations for this are a lot higher than what JJ than when JJ came on, because I don't think, like I said, my personal opinion, I don't think JJ's built for the Star Wars universe. I think he's done a much better job with what he's done with the Star Trek universe.
Some Trekkies will kill you for saying that.
That was that some Trekkies? It's true.
Kill you for saying that. Yeah, I'm not a Trekkie in it, so I don't mind. But like some Trekkies,
but you know what?
The Calvins.
But you know what? I'll tell you the reason why I'm safe. Yeah, because the majority of Trekkie fans are old school. See, there's been they're old boys now. The thing about Star Wars has been able to like transverse some generations. So now you've got enough young kids who like Star Wars. The majority of people who like Star Trek, mate, you're in your 30s and your 40s. You ain't taking me, so I'm not scared.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the Last Jedi trailer as well. I think it was hard for me to kind of watch it and take in information because, like, I've watched the trailer now 4 times, and every time it's just difficult for me to take in information because I just go like Star Wars, and like, so I really don't like pick up on things in detail. So it was great that Richard actually did that write up because he was able to pick out kind of information about the trailer that might be fun and details about things that they may be teasing and so on. So I would highly recommend you all go and read that on the blog and go and check out Richard's post there because it is very, very good. Okay, right, let's move on. Alvin, did you see the Battlefront 2 trailer when you were over there as well? Was it released whilst you were there?
Yes, it did, yeah. When they did the panel, I think on the 3rd day, which would have been a Saturday, then yeah, that's when it was released. And yeah, like, it's got a fucking campaign about fucking time. Like, and not only that, it's got all eras, so prequels, originals and sequel trilogy eras it's going to have. So there's hopefully there's going to be a fuckload of planets. Hopefully there's going to be some kind of like galactic conquest, how there was in the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I like the fact that they tried to sell as a story first, because the multiplayer shit, we already know how that works. You know what I mean? Sell us on the story. Tell us a good Star Wars story via kind of a first-person shooter. Which they pretty much, although they didn't show any gameplay really, they mainly just showed us story elements. But yeah, I like it. I might actually put the money down and buy it. And I hear that there's not going to be a season pass, but that's currently up in the air at the moment. But yeah, no, overall, I thought, yeah, interesting. They're starting from the Battle of Endor, from the end of the Battle of Endor, and going from there. And we're probably going to see some stuff about like how the First Order came to be and whatnot, and the early days of that. And people fighting for power to control what's left of the Empire, which I think is an interesting story to tell, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that they're trying to fill in some of the gaps for the new sequels that we've got with regards to the history of the First Order and how they came into being and things like that. That kind of stuff sounds really interesting. That would appeal to me definitely as a gamer. Rich, have you seen the trailer at all?
He's not dead, is he?
Hold on. What did you? No, you cut out there. Did you ask? Did you ask me?
I thought Star Wars made you had a heart attack. There,
yeah. No. I'm good.
No,
you asked me about Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 trailer. Did you see it?
Sure, I didn't. Just for the simple fact. I mean, now that you guys have said something, said that it seems to be a lot better, I will go check it out. But I got Star Wars Battlefront 1 with the PS4. And I thought it was the biggest part of nonsense. So when I heard part 2 was coming out, like I just, I stayed clear from it, like nobody's business. But it sounds a lot better. So yeah, I think, like I said, I think what it was missing was that the story mode or the campaign mode. So if it's any good, then yeah, I'll pick it up as well.
Yeah, I think I don't think you were alone in being disappointed by Battlefront. I think a few people were. I think some people are happy as soon as it's Star Wars, they're happy, so it doesn't really matter. But I think for people who are really kind of into their gaming, a lot of people did come up with quite a few complaints about the original Battlefront. So it sounds like they're ironing those complaints out. So hopefully this will sort things out for all of us, and we'll be able to get our galactic traveling on when that game comes out. Okay, let's move on again. Let's see now. Oh yeah, Star Wars Rebels. Was there any news regarding Star Wars Rebels?
Yes, there was. Yeah. So Star Wars Rebels season 4 comes out, I think, begins last quarter 2017, and it's going to be the final season of the show. Which at first when I heard that online, I was like, oh, they must be mistaken. But then I saw footage of Dave Filoni saying Star Wars Rebels season 4 is the final season. And I kind of understand as to why, because it's probably going to take us up to the point just before Rogue One happens. So really, yeah, I reckon they probably got a new show in the works that they're not going to announce for a while. Maybe set it somewhere else in the timeline. But for Rebels, yeah, it's definitely coming to an end. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, because you wouldn't want it to overstay its welcome or to run out of stories. It does seem a bit quick to only have like kind of 4 seasons, but I'm not mad about it. I hope they go out with a bang. I hope they continue to tell brilliant stories that they're telling, and just continue with the epicness, really, because the way season 3 ended, and the episode before the actual finale, featuring Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, was fucking awesome. So yeah, as long as they go out with a bang, I don't actually mind. I just want them to do a new series based on something else in the Star Wars universe set somewhere else in the timeline at some point. Because Clone Wars, if you've not seen Clone Wars, see it. That's a great show, and so is Rebels, but for different reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
You just sneeze.
I did, sorry.
Yeah, bless you.
Oh, gesundheit.
Yeah, the hay fever's kicking in, listeners. Sorry, I suffer with this stuff really badly, but yeah, there you go. Sorry, I was going to say that Rebels, I didn't really get to catch much of Rebels. I saw most of season 1 and a bit of season 2, and then somewhere along the way I just kind of lost track of that. That wasn't necessarily to say that the series wasn't interesting or anything like that. It just I'm trying to watch like 20 different things at once, and then I always kind of lose my way somewhere along the line. But that's something I definitely will catch up with. But yeah, it sounds like it's coming to a natural end, which is a good thing, really. So that's cool. Rich, did you want to add anything about Rebels?
No, I'm the same as you, Jay. Whereas, like, I think I got to like season 2, and then every so often I'll just dip in when I hear that something amazing's happening, like Darth Maul popping up and stuff. But yeah, I like the fact that it's set within a specific period time period. Sorry. So like I like that you've seen the characters grow, and it takes you to a specific point in history that will tie everything together. Like I'm a fan for that, man. I think that's one of the things that Star Wars has never really capitalized on until recently. You know, where they're literally trying to draw this whole universe together and make it canon as well. So yeah, I'm cool for that, man. But it's definitely on my list to catch up on with So yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. All right, cool. Well, I think we'll wrap it up for the Star Wars talk. Other than to say, Alvin, have you booked your tickets yet for 2019?
No, but I will do. I'm probably going to go wherever it is, just because I think I've fucking addicted now. So I'm kind of wherever it is, wherever they announce it's going to be in 2019. Then yeah, I'll probably go, because I'm a slave to a franchise.
The mouse has got you, man.
Yeah.
Mickey's got me by the fucking balls.
Mickey's got you. Yeah, I mean, if they can decide to put it on in a hot tropical country with a beach somewhere, like I'll probably 29.
All those of Slave Layers would be brilliant as well. If we're going with a beach, we may as well.
Might as well. All right, cool. Well, yeah, so that will wrap up the Star Wars chat for now. So let's move on. There's been a number of trailers that's come out over the past couple of weeks as well, since you guys have last heard our podcast. A lot of these, I have to admit, I haven't actually seen, listeners. So I'm going to leave it to the boys to guide you through these. But we'll start with Cloak and Dagger, which is the newest Marvel property that's heading to TV. It's going to a channel in the US called Freeform. So you Americans who are listening will probably know this. But my understanding is Freeform is like a kind of young adult television channel. Is that correct, Alvin?
Yeah, it was ABC Family previously. I think they showed Pretty Little Liars on that and stuff like that. For some reason they've rebranded it as Freeform.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it seems like this is their kind of big pitch at trying to get some of that sweet Marvel money. So yeah, the trailer dropped for that last week, I believe it was. And overall, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's kind of what you would expect from, when you know that it's something that's made by a television company that targets young adults, then, you would expect a certain type of tone and style. And I think we kind of got what we were expecting, really, in terms of that. But it was cool. There was some nice little Easter eggs thrown in there as well. I'm guessing that they're probably not going to go with the original characters' origins, because I'm not sure Freeform's down with people taking heroin and stuff, but we'll see. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But Rich, what did you think of the trailer?
It's still dry. It stopped. I can't do it.
Give me a second. Look, there's nothing I can do. You're just gonna have to use this one. It's dried up. Sorry, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, can you wash it and I only get bread for me?
Okay. I'll do that for you in a second. Sit down, please. Yeah, the Cloak and Dagger. I enjoyed the trailer. Yeah, I mean, just from the trailer alone, from what I can remember of the characters of Cloak and Dagger, it seemed to have stuck to the origin a bit. Well, stuck to the origin quite a bit. Obviously, they fleshed it out and made it a bit more, teeny boppy and like, sugary sweet, American-y teen TV show, which I suppose isn't really a bad thing. But I really do hope that they do delve into like the darkness of the two characters. The look of the powers for Dagger seems okay. But I'm really interested to see how they're going to deal with it, and if it's any way going to be linked to any of the other Marvel shows that have been released. Because that's the one thing I think that's been the bane of all the shows that have been released so far, apart from like the Netflix. Like, link it all together. Link Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., link Inhumans, which is coming out, link Cloak and Dagger, link it to the mainstream Marvel universe, and I think that would just make things a lot better. And probably maybe drag some more viewers in as well. But the trailer itself, I thought it was pretty decent, and the lead seemed to be okay as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was the nice little Easter egg for Roxxon Corp at the end of the trailer, which I thought was pretty cool. And that shot at the end was pretty stunning as well, where he's got the blanket wrapped around him like a cloak. That was really, really stunning. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, in terms of like the connectivity, but I guess this is probably something that we'll have to have a whole separate discussion on going forward. But it's reaching a point now with Marvel and their TV shows where I think they're kind of stuck in a sense that because they came early or out early doors with saying, everything's connected, and all of these, the movie universe is connected to the TV universe, which is connected to the Netflix universe, and so on and so on. They've kind of boxed themselves a little bit into a corner in the sense that now people are expecting there to be more obvious connections between these different shows, and because they're all being produced by different television companies and different studios and things like that, it's like you're requiring a lot of cooperation from a creative point of view from these different people to try and knit everything together. So yeah, it's going to be tricky now. So yeah, we'll be interested to see kind of what they decide to do with that. Alvin, did you have any thoughts on the trailer? I mean, I know you weren't you weren't crazy about it.
No, like I said on WhatsApp, it's like save the last dance with powers, isn't it? That's what it felt like. To me. I'm not even going to say that's like really technically a negative. It's just like I just saw the trailer, I was like, oh okay, that chick could be Julia Stiles. You know what I mean? It's just like, but now overall, I was just like, yo, it's very teen. I think if I was like 15, I'd be like, oh my god, this seems like the deepest thing in the world. But I'm not. I'm an old man, so I was a bit like, nah, I've seen this kind of shit before. But hopefully, it's good for those who like it, and hopefully, it does kind of like. And how Rich was saying about connections to kind of like the wider Marvel thing. I think the only way they can do that is to kind of drop in references, really. Like you've got Roxxon in there, like you said. You've also seen Roxxon in like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter as well. But I don't know. It depends. I wish kind of like some of these Marvel shows were kind of more connected to the events that took place in films. Sorry, because like obviously we've had Doctor Strange like come out late last year, but then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't do anything magic wise in regards to that at all. So it was just kind of like a wasted opportunity, really, because people like the world of Doctor Strange. Surely you'd want to introduce, I don't know, a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who's fucking a magic user. That'd be fucking dope. Then you could explore more aspects of all that fucking magic shit. But yeah, in this show, I don't know, because it's like teens. I think I don't really think they're going to be connected to much. I think we're just going to see some references, and that's about it. I don't think it's going to be connected that much. It's definitely not going to touch anywhere near fucking the Netflix stuff. Definitely not.
No, definitely not. No.
You know what I mean?
But wait, listen. Okay, let's not include Iron Fist in that, yeah?
Iron Fist is a wicked show. No joking.
Iron Fist exists in its own world. I mean, Alvin, you weren't here when we recorded the last podcast, but
I would have ripped into it as well.
Yeah, listeners, if you go back and listen to the last one where myself and Richard dissect Iron Fist, yeah, it's not pretty, man.
I'm pretty sure you guys said everything anyway, innit? It's like I can imagine what you guys said.
Yeah. You could probably fill in the gaps, to be honest, Alvin. So yeah, you ain't missed nothing there. But yeah, that's not a bad trailer. So I would say go and check it out, listeners, and see what you think. Especially if you're a fan of like freeform TV and things like Pretty Little Liars and things like that, then it's very much that same vibe, but with a bit of Marvel flavor in there. So yeah, go and check it out. Okay, the next trailer, I haven't seen the trailer for Batman and Harley Quinn. I'm assuming you two guys have seen it. So...
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it the day before.
Cool. All right. That's good. That's good. Well, then, listeners, I'm going to let Richard and Alvin have a little discussion about it. But guys, what could you tell like what the plot of the movie was from the trailer, and what were your kind of thoughts initially about it? Start with you, Alvin.
So the plot is Batman and Nightwing need Harley Quinn in order to solve some shit going down with Poison Ivy. That's literally it.
Cool.
It's literally that basic.
Okay. Fair enough. What did you make of the trailer in terms of like the style that it was drawn in? Because it looks very much like it's based on Bruce Timm style from the Batman the Animated Series.
Well, this is the interesting bit. It literally is like the final series of Batman the Animated Series. It has the exact same style, although it's not connected to Batman the Animated Series. It's almost as if it could be, because it is literally exactly the same. It's not even kind of the same. It's like you look at the character designs, they're the same. You know what I mean? They even say that if you watch the trailer with like the little featurette, they actually do mention that. So, and they even say, it's probably best not to show it to your kids because it's not Batman the Animated Series. But yeah, I like the look. I've always liked the Bruce Timm kind of look. And it looks like there's, because it's Harley Quinn, obviously there's going to be a lot of fucking jokes in there and a lot of tomfoolery and whatnot. It does seem to have kind of like a good sense of humor. I don't know how it's going to be on the action front, but it is interesting. And obviously they like capitalizing on Harley Quinn now. They like making money out of her, so why not do an animated feature with her in it?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, she's hugely popular, so why not? Rich, what was your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah, I think the trailer was alright. It didn't like stir up anything into me. Say, you know, like, oh my god, like it's like the Batman animated TV series. Just for the simple fact that the last few animated DC animations that have come out have just kind of been like, just pretty average. Whereas compared to like when they were coming out quite some years ago, they were like pretty much amazing. The only thing that got me really super excited about this Batman versus Harley was the inclusion of Nightwing, which I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I mean, we're all fans of Nightwing. You know, I'm a big fan as well. But over the past, let's say, year or so, they've been really trying to push him. And so I'm thinking that DC are saying that, well, listen, this is maybe a guy that we can, or a character that we can have that can fill the void between like really young fans and like the oldish fans as well. And so try to appease the lot. But I like the fact that it's Nightwing in this has grown up. So even though they said it's not in any way linked to the animated series, it's almost like a spiritual successor.
Yeah.
So even set like in one of the multiverse. But I like the fact that he's grown up and like you said, the jokes that with Harley being in it and everything. I mean, that seems pretty interesting. I would probably just see it just because I'm a fan of animation and because I'm a fan of comic books as well. And some good jokes in it. I remember I saw a scene where they're in a car driving somewhere, and they're asking about who can join them on this
yeah.
on this mission. And did you see the bit when they're going through the roster of the superheroes and they're doing the hand gestures?
The gold in it on the phone, innit?
Yeah. Booster goes to the phone and it's like Harley and Nightwing just saying like, no, not this person, and they start talking in sign language to say like, yeah, this person's boring, that person's it. So I mean, that seems pretty fun, but like I said, the last pieces of animation that they've released have been a bit lackluster. So I'll reserve my judgment for it until I see it.
Yeah, cool. I said, I mean, I haven't checked out the trailer myself, so I'll go and have a look at it in due course. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they've chosen to go with this type of a story at this juncture, really, considering what they've done previously. But I guess they need to do something because the Killing Joke didn't exactly go over very well with people. So yeah, they'll need to do something to turn that around. So hopefully this is the one that does it, because I am a big fan, as I said before, of Bruce Timm style, and it sounds like there's a bit of kind of humor and personality to this one as well, which I like. So yep, I'll go and check that out, definitely. Okay, and then the next set of trailers we'll talk about is the Alien Covenant viral trailers. Now, again, I haven't seen all of these, although I have seen the most recent one, I think, called The Coming, which is like the prologue, or they're describing it as a prologue to the movie Alien Covenant, which will be out next month. I liked it. I mean, you guys know I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise and a big fan of that universe. And I did like The Coming. It was interesting to kind of see the way that he's trying to kind of bridge the gap between Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And it was quite interesting to see the relationship between David and Shaw as well, and how that has kind of developed. Even though it's a very short piece of footage, you do get a sense that their relationship has developed a little bit since the end of Prometheus. We still haven't seen Numi Rapace's character, Elizabeth Shaw, in any of the trailers, obviously, and I guess we're not going to see her now. And the rumors going around the internet have been that she's got basically just a cameo role in this one, and it's more than likely going to be like a flashback scene. So it'll be interesting to see what role she kind of plays in the movie in that sense. But Rich, did the Alien viral trailers do anything for you? Did they like get you any more excited, or is there anything that you learned that you didn't feel you knew
Yeah,
before?
yeah, I really liked it. Which one did you see? Did you see the one where it's David talking about what's happened since Prometheus? Is that the one that you saw? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
and
yeah.
okay, did you see the other one where it's the cast of the new ship that's going to be in Covenant, and they're talking to the camera, like sending off like little messages before they go into cryo sleep?
That's a next one.
No,
This one's like
next.
actually a mini movie, innit? It's like about
Yeah.
two and a half minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's actual David and Shaw, like
Yeah.
after Prometheus, they say as to what happened, and we see bits, see them operating the ship and that.
Yeah, and going to the planet. Yeah, no, because there's two that have been released in the past few days. That's what I'm saying. But I watched them back to back. Yeah.
Okay.
So what the first one that you're talking about? Yeah, I've seen that one. That one I loved. Like but you do see Shaw. You see Shaw in that like briefly, like little clips of her going into the thing and going to sleep, right?
Yeah. Going to
Yeah.
stasis,
Okay, yeah. So that one was good, and then obviously the next one I saw was the one where it's got the some of the crew of the ship sending messages, because obviously they're meant to be doing that excursion to go and set up a civilization on another planet. That was really good because it's making you feel more for the characters, which I think we haven't had in a long time, since probably like Alien and Aliens, where you've got a crew of people that you genuinely hope are going to survive, and and obviously we know that the majority of them aren't, but you're starting to get fully invested in these characters. Did you guys see the other trailer with Wayland and taking, basically showing how I think the Walter model is an upgrade from the old Android? Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen that one. Powered by AMD, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. That one, yeah. I'm loving all the Bible trailers right now, and all of these Bible trailers that they've released, they're like 10 times better than Prometheus, which is. Hold on.
Sorry, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, so I saw
to the toilet.
I saw that the one that you saw, obviously. I saw that one this morning that they released as part of Alien Day, and I wasn't expecting anything actually. I just turned my computer on, and it's suggested on YouTube, and so I kind of clicked on it and watched it, and it felt more alien-y to me, if that makes sense. I think it was partly because of the slow pace, and the music was music from Alien that you could kind of slightly hear in the background. It's kind of that kind of soft horn thing. But I don't fucking trust David. The fact that she put him back together, I do not fucking trust that guy. And the way it ends as well, no, he was plotting something all that time when she was asleep. And I think he's going to probably release something bad onto the home world of the engineers. But yeah, I don't trust that fucking robot at all. I do not. As soon as he started fixing it, I was like, yo, this is not going to end well. And when he was like, oh, I've been learning their ways. Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't know what happened to it. I have no idea. But it did put some kind of, because at first I was like, oh, well, this Alien Covenant is going to be another Alien movie. Hopefully it's a dead good one, but it is just another Alien movie. Where I'm like, now I'm kind of like, it might be just another Alien movie, but it might be a very interesting one that kind of take things to a different place and actually kind of tells, yes, we're going to have xenomorphs and all that kind of business, but kind of finding out things and as to where David has been and where he ends up and what's going on when the crew lands on this new planet that already has like vegetation there when it shouldn't and all that kind of thing. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how all that connects. Actually, I want to see how this connects with what we left off with in Prometheus.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. It's left a lot of tantalizing questions. So I'm very much into that. Anything more to add, Rich?
No, that was it. The boy's gone to wee already. So yeah.
Okay, good. It was a successful wee, yeah.
Yeah, successful wee. We got it all in the bowl. All in the bowl.
That's what we like to hear. All right, cool. Well, let's move on, man. So also this week, listeners, I'm again, I'm sure you're all aware of this. But we got some big news from 20th Century Fox. They announced that they're going to do another 4 X-Men related movies over the coming years between 2018 and sort of 2019, I believe it is. So we got confirmation that we're going to have a new Mutants movie on April the 13th, 2018. I think it's due. Deadpool 2 will be coming out on June the 1st, 2018. X-Men Dark Phoenix will be due on November the 2nd, 2018. And then on Valentine's Day 2019, there is an as yet untitled X-Men film that will be coming out. So there's a lot of films. I mean, the thing that stood out straight away to me was they've bunched like a lot of these movies together within the same year. So I'm not sure, right, what the strategy is from a corporate point of view or from a storytelling point of view. But my guess is that they're trying to do like a bit of universe building, like from the ground up, and do it very quickly. But yeah, it was odd to see the dates like so close together. Rich, did you see the announcements of these movies, and what did you make of like the dates being so close together as well?
The thing is, you know, I saw it, and I saw the dates, and you know how I feel about the X-Men franchise. That's the thing. So like, it doesn't, to me, whether they bunched it in 1 month or they bunched it or they did it within a space of like 4 years, which is, you know, or like a couple of years, which is how you're really meant to do, you know, world building, or a good way to do world building, like Marvel, or like Marvel Studios, should I say. I'm just not a fan of them. Like, so I saw these announcements, and until I see anything, I really don't give two flying shits. And I'm saying it in such a harsh way because when I look at that franchise, there's only a handful of films that are actually really good, that are worth my time. And the last one was Deadpool. Logan, I still haven't seen. I'm actually going to peep it this weekend.
What the fuck? You've still not seen Logan?
Wait, you got something to say?
Yeah, mate. We're gonna have problems.
Wow.
Okay.
It's gonna be a fight.
It's gonna be a fight. So yeah, so I mean, I'm interested in seeing, you know, who they're gonna cast and, you know, where it's gonna go. But for being excited, like, not even, you know, like you've had like 20th Century Fox have had this franchise for how many years? And it's only now that they've been able to get their footing, like, you know, and really solidify, like, okay, we're gonna do this. Come on, man, I can't get excited for that. That would be like me when I first heard that they were making Phantom Menace and then seeing Phantom Menace. Like, no, I'm not doing that again.
No,
Listen, I'm gonna do that. No.
Mommy, it hurts. It hurts. Make it stop. Phantom Menace, man, Jesus Christ. Never.
So yeah, but I mean, but in relation to like your thing about the dates, yeah, obviously you know what they're trying to do. Like I said, everybody's trying to get as much comic book money as possible before before it loses steam, which hopefully it doesn't. But all good things come to an end. But hopefully not soon. So yeah, that's what 20th Century Fox are trying to do. They're obviously trying to cash in as well on the success of Deadpool and Logan. So why not carry on running while you've got the ball?
Yeah, fair enough. Alvin, you more positive about these, or
No?
feeling kind of the same? Okay.
No. Like, listen, yeah, right. When they announced it, I didn't even bother to click on the articles to find out as to what new movies have been announced, because I don't. After XMen Apocalypse, I didn't really care. You know what I mean? Like, I thought Logan was great. I really enjoyed Logan. I like Logan, but that doesn't really fill me with hope for the rest of the X franchise. Man, I don't really fucking care about New Mutants. Deadpool 2, yeah, I care about that. You know what I mean? I'll go see that. It'll be a good time. Dark Phoenix, not asked, not bothered, do not care. And this untitled one, not bothered. Like Rich said, I'm not interested until I see something. And I agree with what Luke is saying as well. And yeah, I'm just not bothered. I'm not bothered until I actually see something. I don't know why. It's like, because I like quite a few of the X-Men films, like X1, X2, Days of Future Past. I quite enjoyed as well. yeah, and that's probably about it, really. Oh, obviously Logan as well. I really like Logan, but yeah, there's no cohesion. There never has been. There's never been a continuity. It's all just fucking random bits of meat stuck together like a fucking what's that?
Kebab.
like a doner kebab. Or what's that animal? That fictional animal. It's got like a lion's head but wings and all that. Whatever that's called.
Oh, like a yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is it called a griffin?
Yeah, Griffin.
No,
Yeah, Griffin. Lion,
Oh,
a lion and
yeah,
the Griffin.
Sorry, yeah.
Is it?
Right.
Yeah, it's like a fucking griffin.
Yeah.
It's just different animals, just like put together and that, just for the fucking sake of it. But now, if you show me something good, like don't get me wrong, I'm gonna see this shit anyway. I kind of have to. I'm addicted in it. I've got a problem. But you know what I mean? I'm not really asked. I'm not excited. I'm not like fucking going. Oh, I wonder what they'll do. No, I don't really care. No. and it sounds harsh, but I do quite like some of the X-Men films, like I've said. But no, I'm just not fucking bothered.
Okay, fair enough. All right, listeners. Well, I'll try and be positive. New Mutants, I think, could be interesting. I mean, the guy who's attached to do it, Josh Boone, is supposed to be a really good filmmaker, and apparently a big fan of the New Mutants as well.
Yeah, supposedly good filmmaker. How? Like from what? Sorry to interrupt.
I haven't actually seen the movie that he's done, but yeah, apparently he's really good. It's an indie
what film is it?
It's an indie darling, isn't it? So it's it's going to be that type of aesthetic. But that's worked for Marvel. You know, Marvel Studios have picked indie darlings, and it's worked out fine for them. So you know, maybe he'll bring something different to the table with that. And I'd just love to see Wolfsbane on screen as well. That would be dope.
Yeah.
So that's something, I guess. Deadpool 2, yeah, same as you guys, you know, really enjoyed the first one, so it's pretty hard to see how they can mess this one up. And Dark Phoenix, like, that really annoys me because it's like you've not earned that storyline at all. For people who are familiar with the X-Men, whether that be the comics or the animated TV show, you probably know a little bit about the Dark Phoenix saga and the Phoenix Force and Jean Grey becoming possessed by it. You know, the reason why that storyline works both in comics and it worked pretty well in the animated series when they did an adaptation as well is because you had a lot of time to get used to the Jean Grey character, to learn the ins and outs of the character and so on. But as Alvin said, with this franchise, because there's so many different, you know, different streams, there's so many different like time frames. It's hard to get a context for where they're going to introduce the Dark Phoenix and how. I mean, XMen Apocalypse kind of hinted at it, but it did it in such a shitty way that most people have probably forgotten about it by now anyway. And it just sounds to me like Fox just trying to go, yeah, we need a big like event picture with all of our comic book properties. Let's do an event picture. That's what everybody's doing. DC are doing it. Warner Brothers are doing it. Marvel Studios are doing it. Let's get ourselves an event picture. So this is going to be their event picture.
You know what Fox should do though? They should reboot the Fantastic Four.
Because I wouldn't.
I would. I think they might do a pretty good one.
No. You know what Fox should do? This is what Fox should do. Look, all serious, like all jokes aside, just do what Sony have done.
Give it to Marvel.
Yeah. Understand. You've got pride. Cool. It doesn't matter. If he says get down on your knees and and kiss his ass. You're guaranteed money back. Like I'm sure that Spider-Man Homecoming has already made his money back in one way or another. Like and what they've done with the character is pretty much freaking amazing. Like like the reason why I'm saying it and the reason why it gets me mad is because there's films like that if you're not careful that will just drag genre down back into the dumps, like what happened with freaking Batman and Robin and Batman Forever and all that type of nonsense. Like Fantastic Four is a fucking bad movie, man. Shit, my kid's in the room. Sorry. Fantastic Four is a very, very bad. It's such a bad movie. There's like, and X-Men isn't far off. Isn't that far off from the Fantastic Four? Especially considering it as a franchise. Like, come on, man. Like just talking about it gets me angry. It gets me as angry as I got with Iron Fist, man.
I know. Let's step away. All I will say though is in relation to what you said, Rich, all I can think of is the quote from Pulp Fiction that Marcellus Wallace says to Bruce Willis's character Butch. Like,
Yeah.
fuck pride. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, stop it. Don't let pride rule your better judgment, you know?
Yeah.
But we wait and see. Fox, you know, maybe they'll surprise us and pull out some really talented writers to get involved in this stuff. And as long as Bryan Singer's not got his sticky fingers on it, then I'll keep an open mind. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right, let's move on, man. Actually, we should quickly mention as well. Josh Brolin has been cast as Cable, which is kind of weird considering, like, in my head, he's totally Thanos, and now he's Cable. So yeah, he's going to appear in Deadpool 2, and presumably
Is that legit confirmed?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Fucking hell, where have I been? Jesus,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's legitimately confirmed. Even the King Kevin Feige has spoken about it. So
Wowza.
yeah, it's legit. So yeah, that's happening. What did you think about that news, guys? Did you have any thoughts on it? I mean, Alvin, obviously you didn't even
Yeah, I'm
realize
just processing it now.
But Rich, did you have any initial thoughts on that?
I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it.
It's a bit like crossing the streams, isn't it? In Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Like, don't cross the streams. Like, you know what it is? It's like, I'm even trying to think of, like, me personally, it's like it's like Ben Affleck coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It doesn't make sense. Like, don't do it. No, seriously, don't. Like you said, like Josh Brolin, and especially and if you think about it, we haven't even seen Josh Brolin as Thanos really that much, if any, right? But yet he's so attached to that character already, and then he's going to be on screen as Cable as well. Maybe that's the fanboy in me talking. Like, like you don't want to get things mixed up, but it just doesn't make sense even from a business perspective. Like, I don't understand why they would do that.
Well, to be fair, I mean, as I said, that's probably just like for us, because we're fanboys. It's difficult, to the casual moviegoer. They won't give a crap really. They'll just go, oh, it's that guy Josh Brolin, and like they won't care like that he was playing Thanos in Avengers Infinity War, and now he's Cable in Deadpool 2. They really won't care at all. So I guess from Fox's point of view, there's no gamble in doing it, and from Marvel Studios' point of view, they're like, well, yeah, doesn't really affect us. We'll still get a cut of the box office anyway, so screw it. So yeah, from their point of view, I guess they're not too bothered really, but we shall see, listeners. We shall see what comes with that and what develops as well. All right, let's quickly run through some of these topics real quick as well. We've got a couple of other things to talk about or to mention. From comic books, have you guys bought anything this week that you want to talk about? I haven't bought like new comics in months, so I'm way behind. But Alvin, did you pick up anything this week or last week? Sorry,
last week. Well, to be honest, I've not even really read that much of last week. I've still got a bit of catching up to do. But I must say, I really am enjoying Super Sons.
Yeah, I've heard that's really good, actually.
It is. So pick it up if you want. Back issues.
Cool. Yeah, I'll give it a look. Rich, I know you started reading. Was it Secret Empire? You started reading?
Yes, Secret Empire, which is quite good. Yeah, I mean the artwork is amazing. The storyline seems to be really, really good. Time-wise or timeline-wise, it seems to be a bit confusing, but so far only issue 0's come out, so I'm sure that'll all get sorted out as the story goes along. Super Sons, like Alvin, I'm really, really enjoying as well. I mean, it's only up to issue 3 or 4?
3.
Yes, 3. So yeah, and I think the last issue I read was, the artwork is still amazing. The writing is still amazing as well. It hasn't missed a beat. There's something else. Star-Lord, I'm really enjoying. Like that's especially because it's just him by himself. I mean, I haven't picked up any of the other Guardians of the Galaxy's solo series, but Star-Lord's one where he's just been grounded on Earth seems to be really interesting. Nick Fury. So there's a new Nick Fury solo series. And the first issue, the only way I can describe the first issue is that the actual issue itself almost seems like the beginning of the intro of a James Bond film, where you've got like the psychedelic colors and like like everything is literally just like the artist just took a bunch of LSD and just started drawing.
So it's
like
a 60s kind of like Spyro.
Imagine. Yes, did you just say Steranko? Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but maybe even maybe even a bit more, maybe even a bit more psychedelic than that, if that's even possible. And there was something else that I picked up as well. But the whole Batman, this whole thing where they found the pin that belonged to the comedian.
Oh, isn't it called the button, that story?
Yeah, the button. Yeah. So that
So
started.
what? Because it crosses over the Flash, innit?
Yeah. Which I suppose, I mean, it's good so far, but it's only like meant to be 4 parts. But what they're saying is that this 4-part story is going to have like quite lasting ramifications for the rest of the DC
Look,
universe.
man, let's just stop fucking about and just get to the fucking point with this fucking Watchmen shit. Just tell us what's going on. Don't drag it out. Because to be honest, when we first saw it in fucking DC Rebirth issue 1 or whatever it was called, or issue 0, whatever it was,
Yeah.
we were like, oh, okay, fucking Watchmen, oh, Dr. Manhattan,
Yeah.
blah blah. So we know now. Don't drag it on. Don't fucking do this miniseries and then do another crossover miniseries. And no. I want to know by like August.
Tomorrow, damn it.
I mean, if you tell me, if you go, yo, in this story, we're going to reveal it all.
Yeah.
I would buy whatever, how many ever issues it was, I'd get them all. But I don't think they're going to reveal shit at the end of this.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. Because I think if they were, they would give it its own series, or it'd be series like book wide. You know what I mean? It'd be multiple books going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when they do like a big event, and that's what I reckon. But I don't think this is going to reveal that much.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I picked up the Batman issue of that, and it was you know, even though it was a Batman issue, it could have easily just been like an issue 0, because nothing really happened in it. It was actually quite upsetting because I paid shitloads of money for that issue as well, man. Was
it the lenticular cover?
No, I didn't even get that. I just got the normal one.
Right.
Yeah,
is it more expensive than the standard?
No, yeah. I don't know how much it was, but I was like not happy.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. You know, it's people like us that keep Bruce Wayne rich.
Yeah, true. Very true, man. All right, cool. Well, listeners, there's a few comic titles that the guys have given you there. So if any of them take your fancy, go and check out your local comic store and pick up a few copies of those. All right, let's move on. Now we're drawing towards the end of the show, but there's something I wanted to chat about with you guys before we get there, and it's kind of bothering me because Richard and I had a conversation the other day when we were on the train, and we were talking about gaming basically, and a question kind of like stuck in my head, and the question I'm going to ask you two both right now is, are we getting too old for gaming? Now the reason I say that is because there's a lot of AAA titles that are coming out at the moment. I mean, there was a new trailer just yesterday for Call of Duty, which has been reset in World War II for some reason. I guess they've mined space and the future for what it's worth, so now they're digging in the crates, so to speak. But you know, there was a big trailer out, and I still haven't even watched it because I just can't be bothered, because I'm just so fed up of Call of Duty in general that I just, like, it's hard for me to get excited about it. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, there's a new Call of Duty. Oh, set in World War II, yay! You know, I don't care. Like, literally, that franchise has drained all of the enthusiasm out of me. And when Richard and I were having this conversation on the trade listers, we were kind of thinking, like, what kind of big franchises are there out there that we're really interested in? And the truth is, there isn't any really. You know, there's nothing really right now that's got us pumped. And for me, I've just started to kind of get into PC gaming, and you know, I've downloaded a Steam account, and there's loads of like kind of independent games that are out at the moment that are actually quite fun. You know, like there's I got Fez the other day, Alvin.
Oh yes, you played Fez.
Yeah, and it's really
Wicked.
fun. It went on sale, and I was like, this is really like addictive. It's really basic, but really, really addictive. But so many of the AAA titles, I'm just kind of like, oh, you know, okay, so we're doing this again. You know, there's no real, it feels like there's no innovation left in that bracket anymore. It's just kind of package it up, make sure you include enough of certain things, and then off you go, and then everybody will run out and buy it, and you know, and that's that. So yeah, I don't know if I'm getting too long in the tooth for gaming now. Am I just kind of at a point where I can't really be bothered with gaming anymore, or is it that there's just nothing out there that's interesting? So, Rich, I'll come to you in a second, but I wanted to get Alvin's thought first.
Yeah.
So, Alvin, I mean, what do you think? Are we like too old for this shit now?
Short answer is no. Right. I just think it's kind of like, yeah, at one point AAA is all fucking you care about. But
Stop it! Be careful.
Carry on, Evan. Carry on.
AAA is all you care about. But I think you get to a certain point where you've played a lot of the same kind of thing, and you kind of want to discover new stuff, and you want to revisit some old things. And you know, the PC is kind of the place to do that. So I think you're just literally just going through a bit of a transitional phase, whereby you don't have to get the new AAA game. If there's a new AAA game that kind of you fancy, that you see, then you can get it if you want to. But it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't. Like, I know I'll definitely buy the next Halo game that comes out. That's why I have an Xbox One. But for the meantime in between that, the only other AAA game I bought this year was For Honor, and I've not even played that for a good few weeks, and it was all right. You know, I think it's kind of fizzled out for me now at the moment. But again, like I said, it's all about taste changing. Like I've got a lot of older games on my Steam account, and also some indies like Styx Master of Shadows, which I've mentioned before. Fucking better than Assassin's Creed. Like any Assassin's Creed game after the Ezio trilogy, Styx Master of Shadows is better than, because it's that hardcore. You gotta stick to the shadows, hence it's called Master of Shadows. You're a little goblin, a fucking stealth goblin. The game's fucking wicked, you know what I mean? And the missions are long as well. You know what I mean? You gotta get from point A to B. There's you can climb shit. You can do air attacks on people and that. There's just options, and all you got is a knife, pretty much. You got a knife and bags of sand to because you can fucking throw them at the torches, so torches go out, and then you got your darkness to cover. And oh man, it's just a nice, simple indie stealth game. So that's what it is. It's just you taste a change, and that's all. Me personally, I don't think I'm ever going to stop playing games. There's never been a point really in my adult life where I've gone, maybe I should grow up a bit and play. No, fuck that shit. I'm still going to play games, but it's just going to change. The kind of games I'm going to play is going to change. You know what I mean? And that I think is what's happening with me. Because like I said, in the last few years, most of my money that I spent on games has gone on PC games, and they've been cheap as fuck as well. So. You can keep gaming, even if you're a parent, for example, and you think AAA is a bit too expensive. You can keep gaming. You just need to switch to PC. That's it. That's all you need to do. And just wait for a sale to come and spend, whether it be £10 or £20, you'll get a good 4 or 5 games with that at some point throughout the year. And then you'll just play away, man. That's going to be like X amount of entertainment. Each of those games is going to last more than 8 hours.
True. Well said. I mean, I've only just started with Fez, and I'm liking it. So yeah, maybe it is just a case of taste changing. But Rich, I said, you know, we were having this chat about it, and you know, we were both kind of like, wow, like, are we really going to keep doing this kind of thing? You know, are we really going to keep getting hoodwinked, I guess, by these AAA titles that, you know, we spend lots of money on, and then kind of lose interest in after about, you know, sort of 3 months or so. So, you know, what did you think about that? Do you think it's kind of a thing that our tastes are changing, or just that what's out there at the moment isn't really, you know, cutting the mustard?
I don't think that is our tastes are changing. I just think that we've come from an era where we've had some like classics, like, and I'm talking when I'm saying like, even like Mario 1 is a classic, like Pong is a classic. Like other people now, you know, like when you see those little videos of like the kids and they get given a Walkman, you know, and like, you know, and they don't know how it works, so they get given like an old school iPod, or like, you know, and they don't appreciate where everything started from. So I think that's what it is for us, because I look at the majority of the stuff that we're given, and like you said, there's like a new Modern Warfare or Call of Duty type of thing, and there doesn't seem to be any form of like, you know, passion in it anymore. It's just like they're just churning it out just to make money. I remember seeing an interview with the guy who did Final Fantasy 15, and the director that came on who released it, when he came on halfway through, and he did like quite a brave thing for a computer game that had been in production for quite some time. He said, "Okay, cool. Listen, we're gonna start from the beginning. and he got into quite a bit of trouble with the staff that worked for Square Enix, and he said that his aim was to basically bring the company back up, and the only way to bring the company back up was to go back to making really, really good games. And I think that's what's missing. Like, you know, the games that we're being given now, it's just the same thing, just being rehashed, but there's no passion behind it. Like, it seems almost as if like the actual software is becoming better, but the games are just becoming worse. That's what it feels like for me. You play like Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and then you get to like Resident Evil 5, and then or Resident Evil 6, and then you look at even like the designs of the characters, like Chris Redfield. You know, he's not even somebody that you can even relate to, or like, you know, anymore. Like, he's just this big, muscle-bound white guy. Whereas, like, you know, in the original games, he had character and he looked more relatable. You know, there's only a few companies out there now, which I think that are making games good enough to remind you of the reason why we originally became gamers in the first place. So, you know, companies like Naughty Dog, Square Enix have had a bit of a, you know, renaissance with Final Fantasy 15. Whether they're able to continue doing that is another matter. But as for being too old for gaming, I don't think so. I just think that we know what's good. You know, some people will go to a restaurant and be like, yeah, you know, I'd like a glass of wine. And then, you know, some people like us will be like, oh, listen, what vintage is the wine? You know, I want to really taste this. I just don't want a glass of grapes. So, you know, so I think that's the best way to put it.
Fair enough. Good answers, guys. Yeah, that gives a lot of food for thought. And if there's any older listeners out there who are listening to this as well, hopefully that's giving you some food for thought as well. Let us know as well. Like, I mean, especially if you're an older listener and you're a gamer as well, you know, get in touch with us, man. Holler at us on Twitter or on Facebook or via email. I'll give you all the contact details at the end of the podcast. But yeah, I'd be really interested to know, like, you know, what you guys think about the state of gaming at the moment, and whether you still have the same passion for it now that you had when you got into it, or do you think the market's changed in any way, or do you think we're just kind of jaded and old? Yeah, let us know what you think. All right, cool, man. Oh yeah, I should probably mention as well, I did download, I don't know if you know this, Alvin, I downloaded 2 mobile games. I got Dynasty Warriors Alliance and Super Mario Run. Super Mario Run, I think I played 3 levels or 4 levels, and then they tried to ask me for a tenner to they can kiss my big old black ass for that. I'm not giving them a tenner just to play another level. So I thought that was outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. That really pissed me off. So I deleted that. Dynasty Warriors Alliance is pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I played some of the other Dynasty Warriors games on PS3, so I'm quite familiar with it, and you know, I'm quite a fan of that Chinese style mythology and the big battle sequences, the gaining the magics. I mean, effectively, it's an RPG, but just based around like combat, heavily based around combat. And it works really well on the mobile, although the levels are starting to get a little bit repetitive now, because you get to a point where you've got to like buy magics and, you know, upgrade weapons and things like that, and it kind of gets a bit repetitive, but I mean, it's not too bad. But yeah, for me, like I said, Super Mario Run, I downloaded it and I was like, nah, mate, no, you're not getting a tenner out of me just to have a couple more levels to play. And then what happens when I pass those levels? I got to give Nintendo another tenner. Like, no thanks. So yeah, I'll pick up an old Game Boy and play Mario on that. But yeah, Rich, I know you deleted the game as well, didn't you? Was it for the same reason, or did you just think this wasn't working for you?
Listen, it was just nonsense. It was just Mario running, and you just got to tap the screen. I was like, forget that, man. That's long. like,
what did you think? Did you not see beforehand?
I just heard about it, so I thought that it was going to be one of those things where, like, you can actually control him on screen and stuff like that, and you know,
Super Mario jumping, Super Mario Run. What's it called? Super Mario Run, isn't it? Endless Runner.
Yeah, Super Mario Run. Yeah. But but the thing is, you need to take into account. Okay, that's what the thing is. No. Hear me out. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, essentially, what we were given isn't any different to anything else. But coming from Nintendo, I thought they're really going to try and, like, you know, do something like, we'll be like, okay, wow. So that's the reason why I was like that.
They,
That's the
they
reason I was
want
like,
they want
like,
that
nah,
fucking they want that fucking money in it. You know what I mean? They want that mobile
Yeah.
money. They're not fucking ass really. They'll give you Mario and it will look good
Yeah.
on a phone, but you ain't going backwards and forwards and fucking jumping up and all that. No, you can't control shit. You can just only control when he jumps. That's what the thing about that mobile money. You like even fucking Konami's trying to get some of that fucking mobile money, man. Mobile game, because people are fools with mobile gaming. Casuals will fucking spend loads of cash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to buy in-game items. Casuals will do that. You know what I mean? They don't really. It doesn't fucking compute in Reds that they're not getting the money's worth. You know what I mean? Whereas for us, it fucking computes. So when they go, give us some cash, we're like, no, not really. If you want to give me a full game, then maybe. But nah.
Yeah, sorry Nintendo, but you can do one with Super Mario Run, mate. No, I'm not having that. that actually deeply offended me that they turned around and asked me for a tenner to play another level. I was like, nah.
Is it just one level, or does that unlock the whole game?
Well, no, I don't even think it unlocks the whole game. You know, from what I
Get Out,
saw.
really?
Yeah, I don't think it does. I think it unlocks another like 4 or 5 levels, and then once you got past those, you had to pay another one. And I was like,
they're taking a piss. No, that game should be no more than I wouldn't pay more than $5 for a mobile game.
No,
I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't pay. No, seriously, I wouldn't pay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got like I got months of use out of Pokemon Go, and I didn't have to pay a bloody thing because
True that.
like, you know, you don't have to. It was all about, you know, the convenience and the experience of using the game on your mobile. So it would, you know, there was no need for me to pay anything, and you could make in-game payments if you wanted to. I think no, tell a lie. I think I did pay like 30p for more coins or something like that. And that was it, you know, like it, and that worked great. That's why that game had so much legs. Nintendo tried to come in and like, yeah, we're Nintendo, we've got Mario, pay us £10. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. So, yeah, they can go to hell. All right, listeners, we're coming towards the end of the show now. But before we go, actually, yes, let's do the question of the week because we missed out on that on the Lost podcast. And it's usually a lot of fun, and this week was no different. Although maybe fun isn't quite the right word to use based on the question. So if you guys follow us on social media, you'll know that every time we're doing a podcast now, we try and incorporate a question of the week to get you, the listeners, involved in what we do. So this week's question was a simple one. It was, what movie or TV moment has moved you to tears? So in other words, is there something out there that you've watched that made you cry? Now, we got quite a lot of convergence in answers, and we got some very detailed answers as well from some people. So I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. But before we do that, Alvin, we didn't get an answer for you, and I know for a fact that Star Wars has made you cry. So come on, tell us what moment in Star Wars made you cry, man.
Okay, well, when I first saw Special Edition of Return of the Jedi, after watching obviously The New Hope and Empire, I cried. And also, I didn't cry at the end of Rogue One, but it got me teary. And actually, after Carrie Fisher passed and I saw it again, it got me teary then as well. But I'm actually going to go for a different moment. So from season 1, air quotes, of Doctor Who. Oh no, I tell a lie. Season 2, Parting of the Ways, I think the episode is called. It's like the finale, and it's when Rose Tyler is in an alternate universe, and the Doctor is using kind of like a black hole to send a message through via hologram to Rose, and he's about to tell her that he loves her, but it kind of like the star collapses and the message ends, and he's not able to tell her that he loves her, and she's just left there stood on the beach, a tear down her face, and he's in the TARDIS, tear on his face. I literally think that's one of the saddest moments on TV that I've ever seen. I've never been affected by anything like that on TV before. It still gets to me a bit now when I see it, but I thought that was a brilliant piece of writing.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. And Rich, did you want to tell people what your choice was?
Yeah. Okay, I've got two just after what Alvin said. The first one will be brief. And it does bring us small. It's also from Doctor Who, but it's when David Tennant leaves, and it's the whole build up for that episode.
Yes.
Where it's basically, and it's such a well crafted episode where you think he's actually going to survive, but it's just that last line that it says like, "I don't want to go," and that just, it breaks my heart every single fucking time. I'm not in the room with the kid now, but it's just that whole thing of like, it just reminds you of how mortal he is. As much as he is immortal, like, you know, there's still something there, and I think that was a nice little touch. But my choice that I posted up was when Peter Quill, when his mother passes away, and
Oh
also
God, don't
yeah, and
Richard, fucking
yeah,
hell.
and also at the end when
Yeah,
he's basically, when he's reaching for the gem and he doesn't see anybody else, he just sees his mom, and his mom's going like, "Listen, Peter, take my hand, Peter, take my hand." Yeah, man, every single time, man, every single time that gets me.
that's the one thing that makes like Guardians of the Galaxy really human. You know,
Yeah,
you don't know there's going to be a recall later to it, so when it
yeah,
happens, you just kind of like, oh, it's really
yeah,
sad. But yeah, great one, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
yeah,
for me, there was two really that moments that kind of stood out. There's this one will always stay with me. I mean, there's been lots of things. I actually wrote an article about the movies that made me cry on the blog as well, so you can check that out, listeners. But um, there's one film that will always stay with me, and that's The Champ,
yeah,
the
Oh fucking
movie
hell.
from the 80s with John Voight. And you obviously you know which scene it is. It's the scene at the end when you know, he's lying dead on this bedding. Sorry, I should explain that The Champ, for those who haven't seen it, is basically a movie about a washed up boxer who gets one last shot at fighting for the world title, and he's a single parent as well, to a young boy who's I think about 5 in the film, if I remember rightly, 5 or 6 years old.
yeah,
And yeah, basically it's him and his son, and you know, he's been raising his son by himself, and he gets this last shot to, you know, to kind of have a go at glory and win the title. um and you know, he wins the fight, but unfortunately he dies backstage after the fight. And you know, one of the final scenes of the movie is his son being brought into the dressing room to see him. And the son sort of runs into the room and sees the dad lying on this slab, and is pulling his hand, going, "Dad, wake up! You did it! You won! You won!" You know, and there's all these men in the room, and there's not a single man who's not bawling his eyes out. And the old trainer comes up to the kid, and he's like, "No, he's gone now. He's gone. Like, you know, you can't speak to him. He's gone." It's well, what do you mean he's gone? You can make him come back, can't you? And I remember just bawling my eyes out to that. And I think I was about 8 or 9 years old when it came out. And I don't know why it got me so much, but I just bawled. I really did. So yeah, that it still sticks with me to this day. I mean, I've only ever seen The Champ once, and I'll never see it again because of that. I don't know why. I can't deal with that scene, but I just can't. And the other one obviously is Up. The opening sequence from Up is
It's just so well done, isn't it?
it's just superb, man. It's superb. It's amazing. And you know, those of you who know me personally know that I've had my ups and downs with fertility and struggles with that, and you know, it's quite personal. So to see the way that they've done that sequence, and they've done it so intelligently and with so much humanity and dignity, but also, you know, showing the pain of that sequence, and then the pain of losing somebody you love as well. And oh my god, it's just, it's genius. I mean, like the people who wrote it, the screenwriters, the directors, the animators who managed to draw so much life out of that scene, it's just genius, absolute genius. So yeah, those were my two, but there are many others as well. So I said, check out my blog post on that. But let's get to everybody else's. So first up, we had Kentama. Big up Kentama. She said the Green Mile made her cry. I'm assuming that's Coffee's death scene she's talking about. Leon, I'm assuming again maybe the ending scene for that. Yeah, because the ending scene was quite tough in that, wasn't it? And when Rue dies in the Hunger Games. Lou Freepwood, hi Lou, that's aka Afro Cosplay that you'll remember we interviewed a couple of weeks ago. She also said the opening scene from Up, Bambi's mother dying in Bambi, Dumbo when his mum's locked in a cage, Futurama and Fry's dog waiting for him.
Oh god, yeah.
yeah, that's a sad one, man.
Yeah, and I remember that. Yeah, that is quite sad actually. I do remember that. Liz Diego said Creed, the moment when he first meets Rocky and you realize Rocky is an old man, was tough to take. She said the whole film in general, though, made her cry. And Logan was quite emotional for her as well. Glenn and her podcast, shout out to them. They said Forrest Gump, the first scene when he starts talking to the lady on the bench and you realize how much suffering he's gone through. Gentlemen of Learning, big up to you, said Up as well. Christina Allegria Williams said the ending of Dances with Wolves when the wind is in his hair and he's shouting about how he will always remember his friend and he will always be his friend. Let's see who else was there. Sharpie voted for Up as well, and she said Bambi and Dumbo as well, and she said a documentary about Toy Story 3. Not even the movie, but the documentary.
What?
I don't know. But yeah, Toy Story 3 is if I hadn't said Up, yeah, Toy Story 3 would.
Oh God, the bit with the hands.
Oh, that whole movie, dude.
Oh,
like the last scene when Andy gives his toy.
Oh, dude,
girl,
like,
and he looks from the car window.
When
and
I
he has
watch
this look on his
like
face,
that,
and I'm like, oh my god, like it's just so brilliant. Like seriously, Pixar are just geniuses, but they're manipulative sons of bitches as well.
Yeah, man, they know
how to tug on the heartstrings. They know, bastards. The PTR Unlimited podcast said what dreams may come and always. What dreams may come is Robin Williams, isn't it? The Robin Williams.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Johnny. Yeah, I remember that. Always, I don't know, so I'll have to look that one up.
Always. I know that's Richard Dreyfuss, I think, and John Goodman. I think Richard Dreyfuss comes back as a ghost.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, gotcha. Okay, Gabriella. Hi, Gabriella. She said, "P.S. I love you."
Okay.
Always gets her. And Deep Laguna said, "Never ending story when Artax dies in the swamps of sadness." And yeah, I remember that was pretty brutal as well. Like, because again, I remember seeing that in the cinema when I was really young. And that was hard to take. Do you guys remember?
Mess you up?
Hmm?
I'm surprised that didn't mess you up.
Yeah, it did mess me up, man. I remember.
That's an awful scene. That's a horrible scene.
And yeah, did you remember it, Rich?
You want to know the joke? And you guys are going to cuss me right now. Never liked the Never Ending Story. Never finished it.
What?
Never.
Yo, listen.
Being serious, as in like it came out.
Light the torch. Head over to Richard's house.
Yeah, I say we strap into a chair and put on the DVD.
Well, Clockwork Orange style, yeah. No,
yeah,
literally, like I remember it coming out. I remember all of my friends liking it, and I remember watching it and going like, yeah, I remember being a kid and just not being able to get into it.
Wow.
Don't know why. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. There you go.
You learn something new every day, man.
You think you know something, and then they turn around and slap you in the face with stuff like that. All right, and the last one goes, and this is a big shout out to a friend of mine, Joan, who always listens to us. Hey, Joan. She's given me a long ass list, so I'm gonna keep it brief here because we've already covered some of these. But some of the ones she's mentioned was Billy Elliot. Just in general was emotional. A Star is Born. Never really made me feel anyway. A Star is Born, but I know people who do feel the way.
I don't think I've seen that.
No.
It's the Liza Minnelli one, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ghost, she mentioned as well.
All right.
Which I think for some people, yeah, is quite emotional. Bridget Jones, yeah, it's interesting. Sex in the City as well. I'm not sure which particular. Chaplin films. Yeah, that's the.
What is it? Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Big Hero 6. She said made her feel emotional.
Oh man, yeah. That gets me.
Yeah. The Lion King. Oh yeah, the Lion King does. I mean, like it didn't make me cry, but the whole circle of life thing at the beginning is very kind of like stirring. It's what Disney do so well. They're so good at doing that kind of like, you know, as said, they know how to tug on the heartstrings, and that circle of life scene at the beginning is very emotive and very powerful, and very kind of you know, it hits you right in the chest, man.
Sorry to do a Richard, but I've never seen it.
The Lion
Never
King.
seen Lion King.
What?
See, bro, that's even listen,
right.
that's worse. That's worse. That's worse.
No.
That is worse than never ending story.
No.
That's worse than never ending story.
In my defense,
That's-
right? It's just
what's
one of
your
those
defense?
things, yeah, where it's been fucking on, and for whatever reason, I've just not watched it. There's been quite a few fucking Disney films that, like, for whatever reason, I've just not bothered seeing it. I don't know why. Like, don't get me wrong. I know it's good. Like, I've seen the bit with the fucking wildebeest and all that. Fuck you. So I know what fucking happens anyway. So fucking, I'll probably see the live action bullshit. Well, I'll say live action.
See, that's even worse. That's even worse. You actually, you know what happens in it, and you haven't even seen it. Oh man, like
that's not my fault. That's not my fault. That's not my fault.
So, but it's your fault you haven't seen it.
You need to turn around right now. Turn around from Richard's house. And go up north to Alvin. Make a pilgrimage up north to Alvin's. And someone bring him a copy of the.
I wanted to see it. I just never got around to see it, man. When it came out in the 90s, just never got around.
Yeah.
In the 90s, listen, in the 90s, and we're like the 2010s now, man.
Shut up, man. Look, man. It's not my
fault. All right, man. Well, everybody, thank you so much for participating in the question of the week. As said, this is going to be a thing that we'll be doing going forward as well. So it's always a lot of fun, and it's always good to hear from you guys who listen to us as well and what you think about these different things. So there'll be another question that will go out next week on next week's podcast, just before that, in fact, on our social media. So give us a follow on social media, and we'll keep you up to date with that. If you don't know where to find us, you can find us on Facebook. We have a dedicated Facebook page now, simply Wulong Talks on Facebook. So just type that in and we'll pop up there. You can also get us on Twitter at Wulong Talks, and also on Instagram at Wulong Talks as well. So pop along there and as I said, give us a follow, and we'll let you know when the next one is up. Right. Okay. That's it for us. Alvin, did you want to let people know about your vlog video for Star Wars Celebration as well?
Yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can find it by typing in I think either Big A the Man Geek or the Man Geek, and you should be able to find my channel. And then on there is a Star Wars Celebration vlog documenting all 4 days. Alternatively, you can find me on Twitter at Big A85GL. Also, that's the same handle for my Instagram as well. And but on the Twitter, you'll be able to see like it's pinned to the top, so you can just click on it and view it from there.
Cool. Rich Kid, do you want to let people know where they can holler at you?
Yeah, Rich Reviews on Instagram. Obviously, we've got the Wulong Talks Instagram as well, and the website. Oh yeah, and I'm also on Twitter as well, but like I said, I never use it. I will one day. That's why I always bring it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eventually we'll drag your ass screaming into the 21st century, man. Eventually. All right, listeners. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. Before we go, I did want to say a big up to Lucy and James Spooner. They're 2 listeners who have followed us from the very beginning, and they recently celebrated their wedding anniversary as well. So congratulations to the both of you.
Oh,
congrats.
Yeah, wonderful time. Yeah, it was really nice, man. And yeah, they're 2 really cool people as well. So yeah, big yourselves up, man. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week, listeners. Thanks a lot for joining us. As said, we will be back next week with a fresh, crispy podcast. But this is it for now. So I'm going to say goodnight. Big A, say goodnight.
Night, peeps.
And Mr. Rich Kid, say goodnight.
Good night.
Cool. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.